The Silence of the Silver Hermit, a spiritual tale of ego, stillness, and self-realization. In a forgotten part of the Himalayas, hidden beyond even the maps of monks, there was a path that twisted between glaciers and meadows of golden grass. No one lived there, except for the Silver Hermit, a man whose beard was as white as the peaks around him, and whose silence was more powerful than 1,000 sermons. But our story does not begin with him. It begins with Arjun, a young scholar from Varanasi, restless with questions that the scriptures could no longer satisfy. He had studied the Vedas, debated with gurus, meditated under ancient banyan trees, but something still clawed inside him, a void, a hunger for direct experience, not second-hand wisdom. And so, when he heard whispers of the silver, speaks only one sentence a year, and that alone transforms lives, Arjun packed his bag, left his comforts, and set out on foot. The journey took 40 days. He crossed rivers so cold they stole his breath, forests so dense they swallowed the sun. But he did not turn back. At night, he slept by fireflies. By day, he walked with nothing but the rhythm of his breath. And finally, atop a silver plateau drenched in moonlight, he saw a tiny wooden hut, covered in prayer flags that danced like flames. There he sat, the hermit, cross-legged, barefoot, eyes shut, still as a mountain. Arjun bowed low. "Master," he said, "I have come with questions." The hermit opened his eyes. They gleamed not with light but with space. He said nothing. Arjun stayed. Days became weeks. He cooked for the hermit, gathered firewood, meditated beside him in the icy mornings. Every now and then, he would whisper a question. What is the self? What lies beyond birth and death? What is God? But the hermit would only smile or offer him tea. At first, Arjun was furious. Why won't he answer me? Is this a game, an act of superiority? Then the anger turned inward. Am I unworthy? Am I blind to the truth? Then came the grief, followed by silence. A silence that wasn't empty, it was full. Full of birdsong, fire crackle, and breath. After one full year, on the night of the winter moon, the hermit finally spoke. One sentence. He said, "You are not who you think you are." And then he returned to silence. Arjun was stunned. That's it after a year. But as the days passed, the sentence began to unravel inside him like a lotus blooming in reverse. He thought, if I am not who I think I am, who is thinking? He watched his thoughts rise and fall like clouds. His memories, his identity, his pain, they were all temporary. Even his name felt foreign. Then one dawn, watching the sun melt the frost, Arjun felt something shift, not in the world, but in his seeing. He felt like he was not in his body, but watching it, witnessing it, not with detachment, but with deep love. He wept, not out of sadness, but from the lightness of being. I am not this body, I am not this mind. I am the awareness watching it all. And just like that, the question in him dissolved. When Arjun finally descended from the Himalayas, he was not Arjun anymore, not in the way he had left. He walked like a man who had dropped invisible weights. He returned not with answers, but with something better, peace without proof. People asked, "What did the hermit teach you?" He smiled gently and replied, "He gave me nothing but silence. And in that silence, I found everything." Moral of the story: the deepest truths don't arrive through words, but through stillness. The mind wants answers, but the soul seeks clarity without noise. In silence, we meet our real self, not the role we play, but the witness within.